And
David.
Off. What is that you're doing, David? You're lighting the candle for the naughty step by any chance?
Yes, don't want anyone getting a cold off.
Oh dear, oh God. Oh, it looks really hot, that one does.
Aye, it's got a big long wick on it, that one. That's a special article.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How's things? We've got a really interesting programme. A few of the things that we bring up are going to make you go, right? So please, David, can you carry on with the first one?
Not quite yet. We're going to say hello to a few people first, David.
Carry on then.
Right, we'll get Malk McLagan in. We'll get Jim Sorrell in. Tina Chalmers up there in Dundee. We'll get Robert Bruce. We'll get Stuart Mackay, Stephen Nichol, Lorna Shield.
Harry, before he finishes reading out those names, make sure you're there. Otherwise, the naughty step.
Stephen McNeil, Jamie Dodger, Martin Williamson. Who else we got? Alexandra Rutherford. Hi, Sandra. Yeah. Well, since we've seen you, no doubt we'll see you at the next March.
Did you
Hitchens. Huh?
Did you do Barbara?
No, I'll get Barbara. Christina Mackey. Barbara was the first one in the door that I could see, actually. Christina's in. Margaret Hitchens in. George Docherty's in. And Gingers. That's us right up at the top. Hi, Gingers. Right, Rosie's in. Andy Scott Bryan's in. John Baxter's in. Ewan Guthrie's in. And Rosie McGregor. That's enough of that. If we've missed you, sorry, there's a lot of you.
So we've been running now for 150, 157, 158, 159. 2 minutes we've been running for. Right, come on, let's move on.
Aye. I love you too, Sandra. Right, it's the Two Davies on the 16th of the 2nd, 2026. And we're going to start off with Peter Muro.
Please do.
Now, we now know that he's being charged with embezzling £459,000 over 12 years, apparently, during this period of employment at the SNP. Now, the claims include that he had, over the 12-year period, he'd bought jewellery, cosmetics, luxury goods, 2 cars, and a motorhome.
Isn't that what people do over a period of 12 years?
I've absolutely no idea, but apparently he did it.
I'm sure over a period of 12 years, I bought 2 cars.
I mean, all.
Yeah, so.
And there's no Christmas goes by, I don't buy Sarah jewellery.
Jewellery, yeah. So what's going on?
Just spent £100 in a perfume for it at Christmas, and the same again for Valentine's.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it's not an unusual thing. The motorhome's a different issue. I've been thinking about that, but I only wait to retire. I work most weekends, David. You know, home's no good to me at this point in time.
Yeah, I know.
But Sarah and I have seriously been looking at motorhomes. Yeah. But anyway, folks, he was due to appear at Edinburgh Sheriff Court on the 23rd of February, and we've seen the speculation on why it's been postponed until May 25th. It's been so it doesn't interfere with the election, so that they can use it to smear the SNP in the run-up to the election. Well, with all sorts. Anyway, we now have the legal reason why. The legal reason why is it was initially being heard in the Sheriff's Court. The Sheriff decided he's not qualified to hear the case. It will now be heard at Edinburgh High Court.
Right. Well, you and I, we did sort of disagree on this a little bit, right? And I give in to your taking the official line is perfectly okay.
Doesn't mean it's not happening, David.
The way I look at it is that they're squeezing every bit of juice they can out of it. They know they're going to lose. They know that I'm maybe speaking on this, but I don't think Pete Murrell's going to end up getting the thing because I donated and you donated.
Aye.
So, and most people that have donated have said, well, they could use it for a McDonald's if they wanted. I don't care.
Generally, we use it for the running of the party and campaigning, but if they want to use it to buy a McDonald's, they don't care about that either.
That's right.
No,
In the day,
put it on as a party expense. I don't care.
yeah. But anyway, right. Let's just get that right. I do appreciate the legal reason for changing it.
Well, David, as you know, both could be going on.
Yeah.
It could be a case of drag this out because they don't want to lose the case before the election. Of course it could. But the official reason, and I must state the official reason, is it's been moved from the Sheriff Court to the High Court.
Meaning that the Sheriff Court hasn't got the competence.
The Sheriff didn't think he had the competence to hear the case.
So, and that Sheriff Court deals with people rape,
Serious
assault, even it's dealt with murders, right?
Yep.
So you can say to me, I cannot deal with a fraud case.
David, it's no unusual for a sheriff to decide that a case is beyond his remit and to kick it upstairs to the High Court, isn't he?
I have it. Right, okay, next one.
It's no look the amount of cases have been called in the Sheriff Court and the Sheriff's looked at him and went, better take this to the High Court, kiddies, eh? Because they can give a better sentence, a bigger sentence, a longer sentence.
Right, okay, right. Next.
Right, next up, we're used to UK Labour doing U-turns. We're about to get to another one and later in the programme. But this time, it's Mr. Sarwar with the U-turn. Now, last week, Keir Starmer to stand down. One shot him.
You dare come to Scotland and help us campaign? You stay away, you naughty, horrible man. Right?
You're bad for business. Get to fuck Starmer. Anyway, this week he's changed his mind. Starmer's to come and fucking campaign in Scotland if he wants.
Please, Sir Keir, please come to Scotland, he says.
No, Sir Keir just dealt him a fucking coming spanner. There's nothing you can do about it because you're used to the office. And as you and I were laughing about earlier, David, Sarwar's got a beef gone with the BBC because they keep telling him he's a branch fucking office.
In the past, that's a U-turn for the BBC as well.
Aye, it is.
BBC did not want to acknowledge that.
No, they did not. And they definitely were right.
A lot of the presenters within the BBC at one time were all Labour members.
Yes.
Right? So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, good one. I think it's good for a laugh because at the end of the day, it's like we know that Sarwar's going to end up getting his face smacked at the election, right?
Yep.
You can't get away from that. They've done far too much. He's lied too many times as a leader.
Yes.
And Labour have basically changed. Well, what change? I'll tell you what change happened. They're going to change out the blooming Labour government for something else if we're not careful, So.
Aye. And that wouldn't be a good sign at this point in time because this point in time for us would come at the fore.
No, in actual fact, I think bring it on because do you know what we do? We polarise the people of Scotland.
Very true, David. But do we really want their neighbours next door to suffer that badly?
They want it. They actually want it.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, it's like what I need is a 17-foot chain link fence so we can stand at the north side of it and look and watch the nonsense that's taking place down south. See?
It is going to come to that, of course it is.
Yep.
It's definitely going to come to that. But it's interesting because after a weekend where Sarwar's kept his head down, he's obviously been getting instructions for London. Mm-hmm. All right, this wee ploy to consolidate your position and Starmer's position has allegedly worked. Let's get back to being friends. That's what this smells of. I'm sorry about these notifications that keep coming through, folks. If you can pick them up on the mic, it's bloody post with Saturday. It's doing my nut, and I'm thinking about taking it down now.
Yeah, it's like my cat keeps on running every time he hears it.
Right, let's move on because this stuff is really going to affect the election, David.
Yes.
And that is that Borders Council is the first one to put their heads above the parapet and suggest an 8.5% council tax rise. New Borders is a Tory, Lib Dem, independent coalition council. The biggest group on the council is the SNP, but this coalition keeps the SNP out.
So what did the leader of this particular council say about all this?
Ewan Jarvis, the Conservative leader on the council, said that the rises were necessary to protect and maintain public services where they are.
And then what did he say about public services?
We'll get to that after we explain to people who live in the Borders what an 8.5% rise is going to mean for them. And remember, they had a 10% rise in the Borders last year. Now, an 8.4% rise in their council, 8.5% rise in their council tax this time would be an increase of £202.44 a week on a band D. That would be an extra 168 a year, and that would take the band D down there for £1,491 to £1,618, with a couple of pennies at either end. I think it's £1,619.58 to be precise. So a jump to 168. Now, further on in the interview, when they're trying to explain away this 8.5% rise, they then tell the reporters that they're still going to have to cut public services to the tune of £8 million. And how they're going to achieve this is they've got 30 positions, important positions in public services which are vacant at the moment. They don't intend to fill them. And they also intend to lay off a further 28 to 30 people in order to recoup this money. Now, the SNP group on the council are bouncing up and down, going mental, because they say it's not necessary, as the council's block grant from the central government has risen from £294 million last year to £315 million this year.
So we're talking like 19 million they've got extra in their pocket between the one. So in actual fact, if he's talking about it being 8 million down, right, they're going to try and call for, in actual fact, they needed 27 million of the central government, the Scottish government.
Well, they're claiming, yes, but remember, that is the Tories.
As far as I'm concerned, see these guys that are there in the councils, we're in the money, we're in the money. I'll tell you what, seriously, see when we get into pennies, that lot are going to be the first ones out the door.
By that time, you'll be nowhere near public policy, thank fuck.
Excuse me. But, I mean, seriously, 32 councils in Scotland. I'll tell you what, see my council, I'm reading what they're putting up in the Clydebank Post at the moment. And it's like they're making all the right noises to blow and hike it up as well. 13%, I think it went up last time.
Well, as I say, this stuff is going to affect the election, David. This is what makes it fascinating. I'm surprised the Borders have put their head above the parapet so early.
Little England, isn't it?
You know,
a whole section of that area called Little England.
As I say, we were expecting, because of the election, that this stuff would start coming out in March, because of the impact it's going to have. Maybe Borders Council have looked at it and said, let's get this news out early, and that way it'll not affect the election. So it'll be interesting to see which other councils start the speculation next. You know,
simple thing is, see the council election in that area, just make sure do not vote Conservative, Liberal, Labour, or Reform, or whatever they're called this week, right? Just simply vote either Green or SNP in the story. That's it.
That's not how it's going to work. But as I say, this stuff is going to be really important over the next month or two, David.
Yeah.
This is really going to swing voters' minds.
People have, the people in Scotland that have been faced with this, they're already facing this crisis, the money crisis, where they literally they haven't got 2 pennies to rub the car, right? At one time, I considered myself very, very well off. Now I'm looking at it, I'm going, no, I'm not. So, anyway, right. So, Yeah, in actual fact, Charles Campbell said a nice one there. Scottish councils are getting choked by Labour's PFI payments. I saw the figures on that the other day there, and it's immense. And we're talking another 40 years away in order to pay it down. Yeah.
Aye.
I can't remember. I think it was 40 years, another 40 years.
Something along the lines, as I say, but this stuff is really going to make a huge impact. And I can imagine that a lot of these Tory Labour coalition councils are shiting themselves right now.
Well, Labour, I've got to say, PFI, why anybody has ever voted for Labour, ever in their fucking lives, I just don't understand after the PFI scandal.
Well, David, as you know,
all done just to make Gordon Brown look good.
As you know, Starmer and crew are thinking about reintroducing these things. It's the same with East Lothian Labour-run council. They have put new parking meters right along the front of North Berwick, front and North Berwick, and they have all been vandalised.
Yes.
Labour not thinking about elections. Yeah, councils don't worry about these elections, but what they forget is what they do has an effect on the party that they represent.
Correct.
And as I say, a lot of these councils are Tory Labour, Tory Lib Dem, or Labour Lib Dem, and independent coalitions to keep the SNP out.
Yeah,
when you think about the border,
just to explain that, you've got a situation where SNP hands down have won the council seat. They've won it. Right, take an SNP guy that's now the leader of, right? And what happens is then you get a Conservative Labour, a Conservative Lib Dem or whatever coalition comes along and says, "Oh, we're taking over," and that's wrong. That's morally and ethically so wrong.
It's also anti-democratic, David.
Yes, exactly.
It makes a mockery of democracy, and it shows us what these people are and who they are.
Yes. We need rid of council. I'm sorry to say this, right? But look, if I run into a bus, right, will somebody pick up this blooming standard and blooming runway, getting rid of the councils? We are an independent nation.
Well, it won't be me.
Well, that's fine. That's okay.
Because when we get to independence, David, I'll tell you, I'm out.
Well, that's okay.
It's been a long slog so far, bud.
Nah, I'm just getting on my second wind.
Aye, me and all. Jesus, I've used the first one for the last 20 fucking years.
I took from Friday afternoon night right through to, I think it was Sunday morning. I actually finished off the latest post about nuclear. We'll get to that later on, but
because David's been doing the rabbit hole again.
It's not a rabbit hole, Mr.
We know how much you guys love a rabbit hole. So
not a rabbit hole, Mr. McGuinness. Straightforward. All of this is the facts that are easily gainable for if you go into Google or whatever, right? And what you already know. There's a new one that we're going to bring up, but to be honest with you, that caught me by surprise from the Sunday National. But anyway, carry on. I was after I'd released mine. So what's this? Salisbury can't even get the bloody hanging baskets filled and installed. Labour have gutted our full community down to the fucking flowers. Plenty of cash for cameras, though. Oh well, fair enough.
Well, Jade, to be fair, the council never provided them. It was Smarter Salisbury, and we went out of business about 10 years ago. I was the treasurer. I paid for the baskets each year. I
thought you were going to see the cameras.
We paid for the baskets each year out of Smarter Salisbury funds. And all the old baskets, I believe the Residents Association have started putting baskets up, but all the old baskets are stored in my shed because we'd nowhere else to fucking put them.
Ah, right, okay.
But it's lovely to see you on the thread, Jade. I'll see you at the shop. But you're absolutely right about the council having undermined and run our community right down, actually, Jade, because I'm at war with our council right now about our communal areas. Sarah and I and my neighbours haven't had bins for 10 years. The kids keep rolling them through the gaps in the fences and taking them down the forest and fucking burning them the minute it gets dark. So the minute the winter rolls in, the autumn, the late nights roll in, the darkness rolls in, all our bins disappear. It happens on an annual basis. It must be costing a fucking fortune.
Mm.
You know, when all they have to do is fix the fucking fences. But you're absolutely right, Jade, about the Labour Council having gutted North Lanarkshire as a community. You're absolutely correct. I've witnessed it over the last 20 years with my own eyes in this village. And I've watched the deterioration in front of my eyes, including the building I live in. Outrageous.
Stephen Kelly says, love to know Spinny strategy. We're not telling you.
Yeah, he's a politician. He does that in the morning, puts his finger up and sees what way the fucking wind's blowing. The odd day. But no, as I say, Labour have been a disaster for Scotland. You and I know that, David. We witnessed it over the last.
No, if you start putting together other pieces, right, and then you take 2014, the one chance we had of getting free of Westminster, and Labour teamed up with the Conservatives. Labour teamed up with the Conservatives, with their pals. They high-fived each other at the end of it, right?
We Ruth and Bouncy Boy and all them all hugging on the fucking balcony at Holyrood, you know.
Dreadful, man.
It was a hard day to take.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm not sure. Right, as I say, but let's move on to the next story, which is about the police.
Yes.
And it would appear that the latest General Secretary of Police Scotland is a bit off his fucking chump.
Oh, that's a Polish. Right, sorry, get it right. I thought you were going to talk about English police, but this is Scottish Polish we're on about, right? Okay.
Aye, the Polish. Anyway, what is it this nut job, David Kennedy, who's the General Secretary of the Scottish Police Federation, wants? Well, he would like the Scottish Government to put guns in locked boxes in the back of all panda cars.
You put more guns onto the street, more after police cars, right? Put more guns onto the street, you're going to end up with getting near to what we've got in America, what we see in America. Seriously.
I see.
People will get their hands on more guns, more, and more guns begat more guns.
This guy Kennedy seems to be into his violence because he's shouting for them to get everybody to have a taser and every push car to have a gun in it.
I don't mind them carrying tasers. I don't mind them having pepper spray, right? But when it comes to guns, guns are lethal weapons. I don't want guns. Even tasers in the wrong situation, you could have somebody with a heart problem or something like that, right? You could end up dead. But okay, less of a chance with a taser, right? Whereas with a gun.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
And thanks for your super chat this morning as well, mate.
Yeah, that was
helps.
That was Jim that helped out this morning as well.
Aye. Helps. But they want to put guns in every single panda car.
Yeah.
Does this guy get any idea of the cost of the training?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you've got to say to yourself, what's the agenda of this guy? Is he working on somebody else's agenda? Where they're actually looking at, we'll get a few bob here out of training all these people to be in Scottish police cars. At the end of the day, I won't give his name or whatever. There is a Scottish traffic cop from this area, right? That I go, you put guns in there. He'd be out there with his 45 or whatever, his Glock, every chance he gets. Seriously. And well, we don't want that. We don't need that. We don't want it. Police in Scotland police by consent. I do not give my consent. And therefore, maybe one person who stops giving them that consent, all I need is other people to actually second me and say, I second that.
Well, Stephen, if Larry's away for a drink, Larry, get me a pint while you're up, will you? Right, aye, police. I got in every car, David. That means that at least every vehicle driver prescribed to that vehicle will need to be trained as a firearms officer.
Yeah.
I mean, the psychological evaluation alone takes months. And then you've got the cost of training these people.
Right.
You're looking at having over 50% of the Scottish Police Service as armed officers.
Right. The speed limit, hold on, let me just give you an analogy here, right? The speed limit in Scotland is 70 miles an hour, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to give the police Maseratis or Bugatti Veyrons, cars that are capable of 200, 240 mile an hour, right? Do you think many police cars would keep to 70 mile an hour?
Right, thanks, Pete.
If you give them guns, they'll use the guns. They'll use them every chance to get.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
Nothing beats a good pint of Belhaven either as a good pint of McEwen's. I'll beat a Belhaven right over the back, no bother. But I don't really want to get into it. That's not, but David, it's a mental notion. As you pointed out, you give them arms, they're going to use them. So incidents of people being shot will rise. And then, of course, it's no unusual for a police car to be nicked.
Yep. And also, your hard-headed criminals will think, oh, the police will be coming out to, we better have a few guns.
Yeah. So, Larry, I have to agree with you. After 15 years, and that was at the weekend there, so Larry's 15 years as a Chief Mouser, right? But after 15 years as an umpties he puts up with in his home, he needs something stronger than a milk, Stephen Kelly. Well, you think about it, you've a Liz Truss in your house, Larry. Must be mental.
There's your pal Jade giving 199, having both guys handwriting again.
Aye, cool, Jade. Jade, we don't make any money out of this, you know that. No. It goes to the food banks. There's no rubbing hands when you guys give us a super chat. There's only eternal gratefulness for the people that you guys help. And that be the truth of it. But guns and cars, is that no a get your gun and ammo here cheap Aldi's angle grinder? Aye, basically Pete's music, it is. Yeah. Cop's car will get nicked. Next thing you know it, cop car will be found with a gun in the boot.
That's right. Or guns.
Guns.
With an S. Yes.
We're being generous today, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you. Still can't go any speed on Byers Road, Mr. Milligan, even with your Bugatti Veyron. There's a lot of truth in that, Kirsty. You're not going very fast in Byers Road in your loafers.
Byers Road is the first place I get done for speeding. I was a kid. I was on a motorbike and I was hanging off the motorbike going in corners.
I was going to say, you must have been a kid because it's too fucking busy even to drive a bike up and down now.
And I made it to the traffic lights at the end, and the policeman went as if pull line.
As I say, but still can't go any speeding Byers Road. That's very true, Kirsty. You can't.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a place to deliver and all. The motor's got a bit anti when you're trying to throw the big rig into the supermarket there, you know, as you try to manoeuvre off the main drag and doing the wheel ends. Right, let's move on, Faye. The idiot, Mr. Kennedy, at the Scottish Police Federation, who seems to have a penchant for wanting to batter the Scottish people with weapons. To our nuclear story, David, would you like to tell us what the latest script is?
Well, as I mentioned at the start of the programme, I wrote a thing about the reality about nuclear or atomic generation, and I'd put up as an example Dunray. I didn't know anything about what the Sunday National were writing, right? And the Sunday National brought up this thing about the Dunray and bunkers, the bunkers that they actually have done for storing the thing. I think this, I find it. Should have been there before you. Sorry about that. Come on.
For storing the coolant water, is it not?
Yeah. Major leak at Highland nuclear site triggers hunt for mystery bunkers. And it's all about the actual storage of bits of gear and all the rest of it from Dunray since 1994, right? In actual fact, going on longer than that, right? Where stuff has been stored and it's given off cesium-137, and they've got a water leak. It's going into the water table, and it's full of all this radioactive nonsense. It really is, honestly, guys. It's really this is difficult to read, very, very difficult to read. And I don't know what else to say. I recommend you read the post that I put together, and also read this particular thing from the Sunday National, right? And read the two of them one after the other. It's an eye opener. Fun fact that some of you may have heard, may have put up this morning, was the fact that since Dunray started producing power, electricity to put onto the grid in 1962, to when it's shut down and eventually sort of, inverted commas, cleaned up, right? We're talking 339 years. The projected cleanup date for Dunray is the year 2333. I'm not kidding, I'm going to say it again. The projected cleanup date for Dunray is the year 2333. And the British government are trying hard with Ed Miliband, the fucking nonsense, wanting to bring Scotland and our First Minister into the 20th century, never mind the 21st, and put loads of nuclear power stations into Scotland. Well, can we all just do 3, 2, 1, fuck off, Ed Miliband, right? And that's it. That's the way you do it.
So Kirsty's saying, so we're being poisoned from the east, the north, and the leaky subs in the west. Well, exactly. there's also Hunterston B in the west.
And also we've got tritium leaching into the Holy Loch beside Fastlane, and we just had that as one of that's a major leak, and there is no safe level in the human body for tritium. There's even less ability for the human body to handle cobalt-60, which comes out of the subs, the cooling for the thing, but also you've got to look at places like Torness, which are taking in seawater and then pumping it back out into the North Sea. That's cobalt-60 as well, right? But the idea, the whole idea of Dunray, do you think it was to actually power your lights? No, it was the mere fact of them running a nuclear power station.
That particular one was to produce.
They're burning uranium-235, right? The half-life of that, or the converts into white powder in the fuel rods of plutonium. And plutonium, the half-life of plutonium is 24,000 years. And they produced it just purely and simply so they could take it away, smelt it into whatever the shape it is that goes inside a nuclear missile, and becomes the weapons of mass murder.
Stephen tells us that nuclear power plants are a very good way for an enemy state to nuke us without using a single nuke themselves.
You're wrong. You're wrong. I actually went into a deep dive on that. Right? You cannot set off a nuclear explosion just using the fuel rods that are available on site. You have to bring an awful lot more on site. They know fine well if they put more than 2.1 kilograms of these rods together, they will go kabang. So they know that. That's been with us for a long time. That's why they don't store new fuel rods on site, ready to go. They get them as they need them.
Aye, well, you were asking what they used to do with all that stuff before they sent it down to Windscale or Sellafield.
Yeah.
And it's interesting the date you gave for they were starting to put the pits in up there, because up until then all the waste went in 45-gallon drums and was dropped into Beaufort Trench. That didn't stop until 1987.
That's right. So in actual fact, the bunkers that they are looking for, right? Major leak at Island Nuclear Site triggers hunt for mystery underground bunkers. It's not underground bunkers, it's underwater bunkers that they need to find. It's just a Beaufort Trench is need to find these things because that's leached away into the water that's running about. If you talk about the number of wains that enjoy the waters off air, right? The Ayrshire coast and all the rest of it, right? And we're talking like heavily irradiated. Start taking a Geiger counter with you. Before you put the wains in the car, ready to go to on air, heads of air, whatever, get in your caravan, take the Geiger counter. All right?
I don't think we can go quite that far, but what we do need to do is move on.
These bastards are trying to kill the people in Scotland. Once they've killed us, that's it. So they bother. They would have liked. Just that nobody can live in Scotland from then on. Right, anyway.
Geordie, you're on the naughty step for that one. His wife's face can't keep up with the cracks in Tom Ness. Oh, naughty step, Geordie. Naughty step.
The same way Hunterston.
Your wife's not reading that.
Hunterston had huge cracks.
Anyway, we're going to move.
That's why they had to shut down in a hurry.
That's right, they did. Because they were applying for another 20-year extension. Right. But anyway, let's move on, David. Palestine actions prescription overturned in the High Court. But, and it is a big but, Mahmoud intends to appeal. Yes. Now, they did meet the criteria for a terrorist organisation based on property damage. That was it. Excessive property damage. But they didn't make it on the other two criteria. They're not a violent organisation as such.
But the thing is, though, the moment you take it to court, providing you've got a jury, it's a jury trial, right? The jury says, well, we don't think what they were doing was they did that. They painted up those planes, right, to stop them from being used to actually go across to Gaza and kill people.
Well, it's all way.
Well, in actual fact, it's the old thing of where people are looking at it and going, yeah, fine, they maybe broke the law, but broke the law for good reason.
Well, anyway, they did make the criteria on one ground, but didn't make it in the two major grounds. So the court has ruled that it was unlawful. So Mahmoud's going to appeal it. It's an appeal she's going to lose. It's going to be a waste of public.
We don't know that, David. We don't know if she's going to lose. We don't know if she's going to lose. Don't forget, to appeal something, you have to present new evidence to make an appeal worthwhile, right?
They'll have new evidence because the High Court has already asked for any evidence.
Are they going to start fabricating evidence? And now they're going to go, oh, well, you didn't say that the first time.
Well, as I say, they are going to appeal it. I don't think they'll win. but it will draw out, it will keep it front and centre, it will make Labour continue to look like an oppressive regime. And one of the things that one of the judges did bring up was the fact that this was an overreach because it infringed on people's freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
Oh, now the one that we should be looking at is the fact that similar judicial review is taking place in the Scottish courts, right? And what's happened is they've said, oh, you're going to have to wait because the secret evidence, we've got to pass that secret evidence, right? Now, okay, I understand that people in the UK and people in England, people in Scotland on the judicial side, the people in England on the judicial side might look at Scotland and go, you're a penny ante, we're not giving you anything, right? But when it comes to something like Palestine Action, the prescription of, right, you'd think that somebody would have the ability, the sensibility to be able to say, oh, hang on, I'll scan all that and send it across to you, right? Or even an old fax machine you can send it on, right? Or I can send wee Jimmy up on the train. You meet him at Waverley, right? At the end of the day, it's like the idea of it being held up for weeks and weeks before this judicial review goes ahead in Scotland smacks of morale. Anyway, there you are. Just saying.
Well, anyway, it's been overturned. It stays in place for the time being. Mm-hmm. The police UK-wide have now declared that they won't arrest anybody. They'll go into what's called intelligence gathering mode in case it is upheld.
That should be against the law in itself. You think about that. Think about that. At the moment, the High Court have spoken. They're saying, no, it's unlawful, right? So therefore, the police have went, all right, fair enough, okay, we don't arrest anybody, right? Should not be a case of the police going about with blooming cameras, taking photographs of people that are carrying bits of banners saying, I support whatever, right? They shouldn't be doing that. The police, as far as I'm concerned, are guilty of some kind of entrapment because of that.
Well, you're allowed to say people carrying placards with the words, I support Palestine Action, as long as you don't express that support yourself, David.
Yeah.
It's all about how you frame these things.
That's right.
I mean, you and I ended up in the cops because we did say we supported them. As a form of civil disobedience, of course.
Yes.
Because civil disobedience is our thing. We don't mind a wee bit of civil disobedience.
Civil disobedience is okay.
Most certainly.
The thing is,
protest.
That civil disobedience depends on the right to free speech
and the right to protest.
A peaceful protest.
Yes. Right? And that peaceful protest, folks, can take many forms.
Yes.
And that includes direct action where property damage occurs.
That's right.
Or in David and I's case, encouraging people to absolutely disengage from an agency like the BBC. Just don't pay them, don't finance them.
That's right.
You know, or make the electricity company and the gas company send you a bill. Make it fucking cost them to take your money.
Yeah.
You know, these forms of civil disobedience, whether it be direct action or withholding or even denying or defying the state, these are legitimate forms of protest.
Because the state are blooming taking the piss, or the state actors are taking the piss.
Thank you, Kevin. That's very generous of you. It really is. And folks, as you know, I'm going to bum him up now because he's a real legend when it comes to broadcasting here in Scotland.
Kevin used to come and take all our pictures. He was allowed to because he was our pal.
But more importantly, Kevin is the original. And if you don't watch Independence Live, what you doing? Get out there, subscribe, and view.
Kevin,
good stuff.
Question for you. When are you going to come and join us on a broadcast?
Do you know, David, I was about to ask the same question. Kevin, hit me up. We'd like to talk to you.
Yeah.
Especially our history. We go back a long way, Kevin.
Yeah.
So, it'd be lovely to get you on the show, Kevin. It really would. So, the Palestine Action thing, it's a waiting game now, David.
Just to answer, Stephen Kelly's actually said, so David, you can sue the UK government sometime in the future, providing we are completely successful and we've got the thing whereby you could not have arrested us, whatever, right, charges, then yeah, I would imagine there's going to be about 3,000 people in the UK that are going to be going, right, fine, let's do some hand rubbing. Yeah,
you're absolutely right, Charles. Yeah. Oh. Charles, sorry. Charles, you're absolutely correct. Peaceful protest is the most important thing in any democracy because it allows the people an outlet to express their will.
That's right.
It is one of the cornerstones of democracy. The people have got to be able to express their will. Now, free speech comes with responsibility, but that's left to the individual to decide what's decent and what's no when it comes to public parlance. But protest.
Sorry, David. I saw something really funny today. Was President Trump was actually at a drawing of a volcano, showing you the lava coming up, right? And he said, "Why don't we just fill the top end of the volcano with concrete, and that would stop anything happening, right?" And I did a post, I did a comment back to him. I said, "Well, Mr. President, if you take a firecracker and you put it in the flat of your hand and you set it off and it goes bang, yeah, it'll hurt. Don't worry, it will hurt and your hand will get burnt. However, it's nothing that if you do the same thing with the firecracker in and close your hand and set it off, end of it, no hand. You're welcome. There you go."
Well, dumpling is that daft, but no, protest is important. David and I have partaken in protest for many years in many forums.
Yeah, to those of you that got the analogy, if you keep people a closed hand, you stop them from getting out and letting out that, right?
Right.
What's going to happen is you're going to create an explosion. It's going to take the state away.
Yes. They say so. The most important thing in a democracy is the right to protest, the right to express your views. No, don't expect everybody to agree with your views, but at least you can at least expect a right to be able to reasonably express them.
Yep.
Reasonably express them. Now, David, we're running out of time, but we've got just about enough time for another comedy shot.
Stephen, just before I let David go on with this, you're saying, David, go to the ICJ, sue them to fuck, right? Fine, but I think the ICJ have got their hands full just at this moment in time, don't you?
Aye, I think we'll manage it through the UK courts, thanks very much, if we're going to. And what we will look at the time is whether we'll join a group of the 806 of us here in Scotland who have been wrongfully arrested, or whether we'll join a UK-wide group of 2,700 odd people, or whether we'll bring an individual case by ourselves.
Because I did write to my solicitor.
You most certainly did. I've got a copy of the letter.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like, and we're not bringing anything new up there. It's just a mere fact of giving our solicitor the heads up just in case it becomes a case. There are many hurdles to go over. Sorry, David. Please carry on.
No. We're running out of time now, David. We're not going to get to cover all the subjects we're going to cover, but I do want to end on the spinning top, which is the Labour government. Another U-turn, folks. Would you believe it?
Yes. Hang on. The top? The old-fashioned top we had when we were kids.
Aye, pump it up and down. Spin like fuck.
That's Labour.
Stephen, we're not in it to rob the public services of large amounts of money, I can assure you.
Yeah.
But sometimes an organisation does need to be punished. In this case, it is the Westminster government and the Home Office.
Yes.
And they have to learn the limitations, especially when they come up against people our ages.
Also, you've got to look at the naughty girl, Yvette Cooper, who was the Home Office Minister, became the Foreign Office Minister. I've got to say, she needs to actually go up and defend that in a court of law.
Aye, she does. Now, Sir Larry's right. Watching the in Sir Larry's channel where he covers the defectors from the Tories to reform. There's an interesting one for you this week, Sir Larry, if you want to look into it. The form councillor who defected to the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one for you, sir, when it comes to defectors.
Siggy, do not disturb mode. Sorry.
Right, now, to get back to this U-turn, what is a U-turn this time? Well, it appears that the 30 councils who were told they don't have to have local elections in England in May have now been told they do have local elections in May. And why would this be? Because Starmer's trying to reposition himself. Because we were going to talk about an investigation that's going to get into Labour Together by Starmer.
Yeah.
But Starmer's trying to reinvent himself.
Yeah.
He's totally trying to reinvent himself. But at this point in time, he's getting pillared by the Conservatives, the Lib Dems, the Greens, and and Reform for being a democracy denier.
Yes.
And running frightened of these elections.
Yes.
So now the elections will go ahead, which now puts these councils in a hell of a position because they're now in a race to arrange elections. Absolutely mental. Yes, Sir Larry, the other way around, the opposite way around. Which is interesting. A deformer going to the Tories, but they're both deformed anyway.
Yes.
They're both the one organisation. So that is interesting. So that's Labour's 14th U-turn.
Well, I've lost count now.
I think last year we read out the 13th, did we know? I think this is the 14th.
Yeah. Don't forget, they did campaign on the word change. There's one thing they have done, they've changed and then changed. And then changed and then changed. And then changed and changed again. And then changed. Right, okay, so there are.
Kazi, I don't think it's going to do with 114 councils having declared bankrupt because it's going to cost them to put elections on. But hey, it is quite funny because every time they announce a policy, give it a couple of weeks and the policy's gone again. It's hilarious.
I also find the funny thing regarding the councils down there, where they're run by Reform. Reform went into power, and those councils said, "We will never, ever raise council charges."
They're all putting them up with the maximum.
Oh dear! But our councils, to be honest with you, looking at Dumfries and Galloway, my goodness me, it's like they're doing the same. Yeah.
Aye. And the Scottish people have a wee bit of wriggle room. We had 11 years of a council tax freeze, David.
Yes, I know.
So we should have a wee bit of wriggle room in our budgets.
To be honest with you, I'd like to see them bring in a council tax freeze once again.
I
don't care how the councils scream about it, because at the end of the day, people can't afford this.
That's very true, David.
What will happen to you if you don't pay your council tax? Do you know effectively what the thing is that you get if you don't pay your council tax?
Aye, they arrest your wages if you're working.
That's right. If you're a pensioner,
I dare say they're going to Take it off your pension.
Yeah.
At source.
Exactly.
But anyway, as I say, the council tax is going to be really important. Labour's latest U-turn is going to upset an awful lot of people, especially these councils who are now in a race to get these elections organised in 12 weeks at a huge expense, and they're already fucking bust.
You look at the Westminster government right now, they most definitely, without doubt, are a busted flush.
Yes.
It's all over, barley shout. There you go.
Yep. And let's hope the May elections end it.
Yes.
Because when you've got 3 parts of the UK no longer want to be members of the club, that really does put England in a really funny position.
I'm still going for 10:19 a.m. on the 26th of March. That's my prediction for the Starmer God. We'll take our case to the public. Something like that. He won't be happy. He won't be happy at anybody taking over from, right? He will call an election before he'll do anything else. He'd rather lose a general election than lose in a situation like that where somebody else in Labour is going to go in and take over from him.
You think so?
I think so, yes.
There's got a smell of 1975, 76 about it, innit?
Why? Yes. Yeah.
You can smell the rock from Westminster all the way here.
Yeah. It's broken. Westminster is broken. I put up a nice bit of artwork the other week there with Big Ben and bits, but bits breaking off it, and I say that it's broken.
Right, so we're not going to get to cover a Starmer after getting ready. McMorgan McSweeney launching a probe into the think tank Labour Together. But maybe we'll get a chance to pick up on that on Thursday. Maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens in the meantime. And so, Larry, Professor McGuinness, the magic words are adequate deficiency. Absolutely correct. You're a bit of wordsmith there, Sir Larry. Listen, David, if you haven't been watching Sir Larry's detective series where he looks into defectors for Tory to reform, you do get one for reform to Tory to look at it. It's brilliant. And the language, he's an absolute wordsmith. I swear to you folks, it's just worth it.
And also, when that's pointed out to them, and they go, no, do we call that cognitive dissonance?
Aye. Well, we want to thank everybody for giving us super chats today and any day that we're on. We want to thank the moderators for helping moderate the channel, although I have to say the channel on the whole is very well behaved. There does seem to be very little in the way of disputes within the community here, David. There is the odd ones, but hey, Derek, how are you? But it helps when most of them are your pals, like, you know. Just as well you and I have got a lot of pals with 150 odds and I'm sitting watching.
I've seen red-clad Liza Truss shake hands with that orange Dodger. So hopefully she's given Trump the kiss of death. That would be fair, brighten up the full planet.
Jade, yeah, you've been a great contributor to today's show. And I say I'll probably see you along High Street or along Main Street at some point soon.
Anyway, thank you, Stephen Charlton. Just very much appreciated. What can I say? Interesting day as far as news is concerned. The next time we see the Two Davies, but don't forget, really, really, really important is that you watch the news review that David does at 10:30 every single morning, a weekday, right? Because on that, you'll pick up stuff. What would be ideal is that none of us bother opening the articles in any of these unionist newspapers because it's all clickbait. David covers it. So he's just one click, right? So at the end of the day, if he owns it, he explains it to you, then you don't have to open it and create more clickbait. So
and then, of course, you get my original spin on most of this pish out anyway. I cut through the bullshit for you so you don't have to.
That's right. So please, if you've got the time, try and watch Davey doing the Indie Truck Davey thing, where it's a news review every morning, every weekday morning at 10:30.
Thanks for
All you do is go into the Two Davies channel and you'll see it there. Click
the snow's back on again.
Click
It's been a beautiful day.
Shut up a minute. I'm trying to advertise here. Click the live tab and you'll find that David's there. All right? There's people waiting. Right. So that just leaves me to say time for independence. And
Eisner Prize 2026 SNP majority. Get at it. Shoulder at the wheel. Bye for now.